Hi there. Welcome to The Preventable, the podcast giving you a seat at the table with conversations about the intersection of alcohol, drugs, and mental health in everyday lives. Take a seat and join us.
Welcome to The Preventable. With me today is somebody that I have known off and on a little bit, and I feel like we have sort of a lot of similar paths. Laura Storm. She is the co-founder and executive director of Foster Together. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think your organization is super cool, and we're going to dive into that in a minute. Number two, because my work wife, Jenny Armbruster, is on your board.
Yes.
And I cannot say enough amazing things about Jenny. I've had the privilege of working alongside her for 15 years, and she simultaneously scares me and motivates me and is my biggest champion. So I think she'd be awesome to have on the board.
Yes,
so I'm kind of jealous.
Thank you so much for sharing her with us.
Oh my gosh. And you are a member of Faith Oakville. Mm-hmm. Which has for the last several years done a really cool Stomp Out Addiction walk, and the pastors have been on this podcast and are coming back because they're going to do it again.
Awesome. Yes. We're so just grateful for Faith's partnership too. And we're so glad that they're partnering with you guys also.
Yeah, because so Faith Oakville does this event where they support Prevent+Ed, but they're also like really into like the foster care ministry, right? Am I saying that properly?
Definitely. I mean, I would say they're into anything that's going to help the members of our church just get out there and serve the community and be Jesus in the community.
Right.
And when we first came to them with this idea for Foster Together, I mean, that was the initial trigger for our organization, was just going to our church and saying, you know, here's this idea. Can we have some funding to get started? And that funding was the beginnings of Foster Together.
Okay, so tell me about this idea. Did this like happen around like a kitchen table or something like that? Like tell me about the idea and then like get into it.
Yeah, so there was a group of friends of ours. My husband and I were in a small group at church, and we've been throwing ideas together, you know, back and forth for a couple years on how can we serve the community with our kids in a way that's going to help us build relationships with people and not just be a one-off thing. Like we would bake cookies for firefighters, or we would serve at Feed My People one day. But we wanted our kids. I
volunteered at Feed My People all throughout high school.
They're amazing.
I love that
them.
Place. Yes. Okay, continue. Sorry.
So we wanted our kids to have this experience of service throughout their lives, not just go on one mission trip. And so this idea kind of came to us after my husband and we stayed with some family in Omaha, Nebraska, and my husband's family fosters. So his aunt and uncle and some of his cousins, and they had their little foster daughters with them at their house. We were staying with them, and our kids got along so well, and it was like something clicked, and these kids were no longer a statistic for me anymore. This was real, and I just was feeling this pull to do something. So I brought the idea up to our friends from church. They were all on board, and so we started asking our friends for clothes and shoes, just hand-me-downs that they were done with, and we cleared out some space in our basement. My husband and I were like, you know, we were storing all this junk. Why don't we clear out some space for people that actually need some things? And so our church gave us the money for the bins to get started, and we made a Facebook page because we at that point did not know a single foster family in St. Louis. And
get out of here.
I know.
Okay. So you have this like great idea, and then you're like, and how?
Yes.
Whoa.
And
okay.
It was mostly just a leap of faith. It was like, God, you're giving us this idea. We know you're going to help us through it. And so we took the leap, and the community was right there. I mean, the donations were pouring in, and the Facebook page was how we first started connecting with foster families and just getting the word out that way.
And meanwhile, you're just collecting all of this in your basement.
And sorting it, and it was crazy, but so fun. And our kids were involved helping go through the donations, and it was just what we had been praying for. And so We did deliveries out of my home for 3.5 years. So foster families would give us a request. You know, they would either call or send us a text and say, I got a placement, a 5-year-old boy, a 10-month-old girl. These are the sizes I need. This is the diapers I need. This is the formula. And we would pack it all up, and we built this team of volunteers that would do that and that would deliver to their homes all across St. Louis. And it was amazing. It was awesome. But now we are blessed to have a space where families can come and shop for all these things for free.
Which is like awesome, right? And so, because, I mean, awesome is such like a word that I can't think of another word. But so you go from having, and I can just imagine what your basement looks like, where you've got all these bins, and it basically looks like, Once Upon a Child, but in your basement, right? And so you're driving things all around when people have a placement or when they need, and kids change sizes a lot. So I'm sure just because you get a 10-year-old in one size, you have them for 3 months, that doesn't mean they're going to be in the same size. So you're driving things around, and then at some point, it just got to be too much or too big, or did your friends have an intervention and say, what are we doing? Or was your husband like, we need the basement back? Like, how did you get a space?
No, yeah, it had always been, in the back of my mind.
Oh, this was a goal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But it was kind of like, well, that probably won't happen, but this is what we would do if we could get to that point. And it was another big leap of faith of, okay, we're going to build this board, and we're going to have some financial accountability here so that we can make this sustainable. And is
that when you became a nonprofit, or were you a nonprofit still in your basement?
Yeah, we were a nonprofit almost right away.
Okay.
Wow. Because we wanted to be able to give donation receipts.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but then when we got to the point where we had the financial donations to start paying rent, utilities, all these things, we took another leap, and we ended up getting an amazing space that needed a ton of work. But the community came back through for us there, and we had everything donated, from flooring to shelves and all the labor to put it all in. I mean, my parents, my husband, all of our friends' husbands laid the flooring and everything, and just it's this beautiful boutique now where, families come in, and it's amazing to see the looks on their faces when they walk into our store, because it's just.
And so when you're saying store, like, you mean store. So you've got these foster parents who they have a new foster child, or the child needs something. And so rather than, having to go to a place and sort of rifle through bins or get hand-me-downs dropped off on their doorstep. Nothing against that, which is amazing. But so describe what happens when they go to this boutique in Arnold, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens when they go to this boutique in Arnold, Missouri?
Yes. So like
Jefferson County.
Yes. Yep. This morning we had walk-in hours, and we had people waiting at the door before we opened to come on in. And when they walk in the door, they're greeted by our volunteers at the checkout counter, and they are given a menu so the kids can see the visuals of all the things that they get to pick out. And that menu is mostly there because we have a lot of families that are afraid to take too much.
Oh, I can see that totally.
And we tell them, we want you to leave with everything you need. So 10 to 12 outfits, 3 to 4 pajama sets, 2 pairs of shoes, new shoes, a pack of new socks, a pack of new underwear, 2 toys, 2 books, toiletries, bedding sets, new pillow, everything. And I mean,
they feel like
you have to
Christmas.
Come sometime and see. It's
Jenny keeps telling
amazing.
me that I need to come. The only thing that in my brain I can kind of like liken it to is I had the privilege of volunteering for the National Council of Jewish Women. They do like a back to school event where kiddos come through, and volunteers are like their personal shopper, and they get same thing, and it's one day a year. Okay. They get books, and I had the privilege of walking with this 8-year-old who got a coat, and she had never had her real coat, and it still had the tag on.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I don't even know. And there was a whole rack full. And she ended up choosing this like bright pink leopard one. And she just kept looking at herself in the mirror. She was so excited.
Yes.
And like, I mean, she was dancing. She was so excited because she had never had a brand new coat, something that we, you know, take for granted. And of course, her mom, when she came out, because they let the parents kind of like take a load off. So when the volunteers brought the kids back out, the parents were always so overwhelmed with joy and gratitude, and the kids were like, check me out, you know? But I can imagine that's how it is at the store, right?
Yes, but you're right, it is overwhelming for a lot of the kids because they, you know, most kids enter foster care with only the clothes they're wearing, you know, and they've had all sense of control taken from them. They no longer have control over where they sleep, what they eat, and we want to give them back control over what they wear. And it seems like a small thing.
No, but it's so huge, especially for kids, man.
Yes.
Like, I mean, for everybody. You want to be able to have your own sense of style.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And it is overwhelming for some kids who have never had a choice over what they wear. I mean, a lot of the kids we have seen, they have never had a new pair of shoes, and some of them have never worn shoes that actually fit their feet.
Oh, my God.
And so showing them, here's your choices. I mean, so our volunteers are really attentive and intentional about walking them through this experience and giving them as much or as little, you know, guidance as they need. Some of the kids are so ready.
I was going to say, some are probably like, let me at it. I want some new shoes.
Yes, because really our main goal there is just to restore dignity. You know, and that means something a little different for each kid. But we have been so blessed with these awesome volunteers who that's really why they're there, is just to meet each kid where they are at.
So I know before we started recording, you were being asked a bunch of questions about, like, do you take donations? Like, does it have to be gently used? Like, could you walk through that just if people are wanting to figure out how they can tap in and they can help?
Sure, yeah. We accept all sizes of clothing and shoes that are in season. So right now we're just taking summer clothes.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd have to store it in your basement.
I know.
We don't want that. Oh, no. Does your basement still?
Come on over.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, we also have a storage unit but that is full too. So we're just trying to keep summer clothes right now.
Okay. So you take clothes donations in season.
Yes, and up to adult sizes, but anything that a teenager would wear. So we serve birth to 21 years of age. So we have kids come in that need men's size 14 shoes. So we accept all sizes of clothes and shoes, and then we do only new for toys, bedding, toiletries, and socks and underwear.
Well, I know that Prevent+Ed, we did it's not a fundraiser. We gathered socks for Socktober, right?
Yes.
And my mom, I love my mom, but you know, I've been working at Prevent+Ed for 15 years, and I think sometimes it's still tricky for her to describe to other people what I do, right? Because they immediately think that we're in treatment or whatever. And so it can be a little tricky. But I said to her, I was like, okay, I have a challenge for you. We are collecting socks. And she's like, what, for you guys? I was like, no. We're collecting socks for another organization. And I described the whole thing. And she was like, oh, my friends would love that.
Oh.
So she collected 3 trash bags full of new socks. They went to Kohl's or something and just bought a bunch of socks. She said it was something tangible.
Yes.
So I think that is something that is a great opportunity for you all, that if people want to do something tangible, yes, they could, make a meal kit. Yes, they could, go to the diaper bank or whatever, but they could also donate.
Yes.
And do you accept volunteers to work at the store? And I'd assume they'd have to be trained.
Yes. And we have a volunteer sign up. Everything's on our website if people want to go there.
And what is the website?
Oh, foster-together.org.
Love it.
And also there you can find a link to our Amazon wish list and our Target registry, because there is where we have our most needed items, and we update that every week, so you always know what we need the most.
A little birdie has told me that you have been basically doing this as a volunteer, this entire time.
Basically, yes.
And your board is working real hard to make sure that like they can keep you and that like you can continue to grow the organization in whatever way you see fit.
Right.
But you're a wife and a mom.
I have 4 kids.
Yeah. So I'm not going to ask the trite question of like, how do you do it all? Because I think that's like a joke. But my question is more of like, your family has really gotten involved in this as well. And clearly you need family support in order to be able to do this. So could you talk a little bit about how your family has really like jumped in?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's true. I couldn't do it without them because yes, I'm not full-time, but 20 to 30 hours a week volunteer.
I think that might be a small fib, Laura. Your boss is listening. Jenny will. Yeah.
Oh, well,
I hear you work a lot.
Yes, and we have just hired our first employee for an administrative support person.
That's a huge deal.
Yes.
I know that was something Jenny said. We are going to get her that person to help.
I know. Jenny's amazing. So that's been a huge burden lifted, and it's allowed me to, kind of shift my focus and put those hours into more of the fundraising.
Yeah,
and
more of the like long-term, strategic.
Yes.
The stuff that we don't really want to do, but is necessary to keep it going.
Yes,
because really, you want to be working at the store.
I know. That's why I started.
Duh. That's what you want to be doing. You want to be working at the store.
But those babies.
Yeah.
But yeah, my husband, I mean, he's the most patient man.
He'd have to be if he gave up his basement.
Yes. And he not only he doesn't just put up with it. He is just so supportive, and he's cheering me on every step of the way. And I pull up in the parking lot here, and I had a text from him. You're going to do great with the podcast. He's always thinking about what's going on with Foster Together, even though he's working 60 hours a week. And, we have 4 kids that are all involved in sports, and our evenings are crazy. But it's just that thoughtfulness on his end that, it's just amazing support. But also anything extra that's needed. Like I said, he helped lay our flooring in the store. It's just, if I need him to deliver to a family, after work or something, he will never complain, and he's just happy to see this idea and this mission and this ministry grow. And our kids love it too. I mean, my youngest, that's her favorite place to be, is at our store.
Oh, because kids love playing store anyway.
Yes.
And this is reality.
Yes. And
right?
it's the
I've
best store because everything is free.
Yes, I know. Can you imagine?
We get to just give it all for free. It's the best. So yeah, my kids help with so much, and they don't get a lot of credit for that either. But yeah, they're always there to do a lot of we move a lot of stuff as far as bringing stuff from our house to the store and back and forth.
I think that's called schlepping.
Okay.
Or they schlep a lot?
They are master schleppers. And they know it's all for this cause. And I just keep thinking, that I hope and pray that as adults that service just continues to be a part of their life. It's not just a one-time thing, that this is how we live. And
I think you're planting those seeds, Mama. Clearly, if they're schlepping and they see Mom and Dad doing it, and all of your friend group, because, from my understanding as somebody who, has talked to Jenny and really, heard the building of this. It's really like a team sport here.
Oh, yeah.
All of your friends are into this, and they support the mission, but they also support you because they believe in you. And so I think that if your kiddos are seeing it, you're planting the seeds.
Yeah. And my parents are, my dad is our maintenance man, delivery man, anything we need done.
We need a maintenance man or woman, whatever. A maintenance
my
person.
mom is at the store all the time and packing for families and doing all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
My husband's parents are involved however they can be. It's just amazing to see, how this has built so much momentum and brought out the best in so many people.
Well, and we've talked about the volunteers, which is, critical. You can't be a nonprofit without volunteers. And you're also getting attention from funders, right? So I know you all got Dana Brown funding, which is really great. That they're a wonderful funder.
Yes.
I know that you've gotten some really positive press from the Missouri Athletic Club, and you've got to go to
great
fancy
partnership
dinners. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're one of their 3 charities for this year, so it's amazing. Their Women's Initiative Network has kind of taken us on, and they're coming to volunteer this week, and it's been awesome to see how far the reach has grown.
Yeah. Talk to me about this fundraiser event that you have coming up. They're back to school barbecue.
Yeah, it's actually just a fun event for foster
it's not
families.
even a fundraiser.
No.
Okay.
So it's a way for us to kind of gather not just the foster families, but our stakeholders, community members, people who have just been following us on Facebook for so long to just come together. And we're going to have a barbecue at Crestwood Park on August 6th. And we're going to have cotton candy and face painting and just some fun stuff like that, along with free school supplies for kids in foster care. And our registration is up now on our website. You don't have to register unless you're going to be getting the school supplies. So anyone can just show up on that day. And we have, people from the community are donating school supplies, so we're able to give those out on that day.
So I know that, So St. Louis has a lot of nonprofits, right? And so, a lot. I don't think people know just how many we have. We're very unique in that situation.
It's wonderful. But
it's wonderful.
But
there's a lot.
Very saturated.
Which means there can be some competition. And so with funding and things like that. And so when you're looking to create a nonprofit or do the thing, whatever the thing is, it's important for you to reflect on what makes us unique. What is the thing that differentiates us from everybody else? And it doesn't mean we're better or worse. It just means what's our widget? What is the thing that we sell that no one else can sell, so to speak? So for you are really the only gig in town that is doing it like this.
Yes. Yeah, we are the only ones that have all of our clothes are hung just like you would find in a store. So we just really want it to be a pleasant experience for the kids when they're shopping. So everything is beautifully displayed and hung. And then we are also the only foster resource that delivers to the homes of the foster families. That never went away when we moved into our store.
I was just going to ask about transportation because Arnold for some people is next door, and then other people are where's Arnold?
Yes.
But you deliver.
Yes. So for new placements, someone yesterday, newborn baby.
Oh my God.
Yesterday evening. Okay, so they get to hop onto our website, fill out a form, tell us exactly what they need, make a list, everything you need. Our volunteers are at the store, most of the time same day, pack all of those things for them. We send out a text to our delivery team. We have 37 people on our delivery team, and they all tell us which area in St. Louis they would like to deliver to.
Yeah, their radius or whatever. Okay.
So we deliver to St. Charles County, St. Louis City, St. Louis County, Jefferson County. And so we send out a message to our delivery team, and they pick it up, get it delivered, usually next day. And we've got the feedback on that is incredible because now, everyone's used to grocery delivery and DoorDash and, we want to do, our Target pickups and things. And so we want to make it convenient for them.
Well, yeah, that and you get a newborn baby, you need stuff now, you're going a million miles an hour. The last thing you probably are thinking about is getting in a car and going somewhere.
For sure.
That there's no...
Yes.
And I know some foster families, this is what they do, right? So they're prepared and they're mentally prepared, but not everybody is.
No, and even those older kids, that is critical bonding time.
Yes,
that first
that
24
attachment
hours.
is very important.
So if you're spending that time putting the kids in the car, bringing them to different stores and running those errands, that you're missing out on that bonding time, and we want to give that back. And we've heard from a lot of foster families that said that when they got the call from the caseworker to accept a child or a sibling set, that their first thought was, I can't do it. I don't have anything. But next thought, well, Foster Together will bring it all to me. So yes. That's why we're here. because that child now went from sleeping in an office tonight to being welcomed into a home, and that foster family has the confidence in us that we'll deliver everything that they need.
I just got the goosebumps. So do places like Angel's Arms and foster and adoptive care, do they refer a family to you? Is it like part of the like welcome package, so to speak? Like, not really, but you know what I mean, where it's like, so this is happening. Here are some resources at your disposal.
Yes. And we have caseworkers like from the coalition that will just come to our store with all of the paperwork for all their kids and just shop for like 12 kids at once.
Whoa.
And then they get to be the loved one who gets
like
to
Santa
come to
Claus,
the house.
kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who gets to come to the house and bring all this stuff to this family. And we love letting them have that role because...
Well, I mean, we have several caseworkers and children's division folks who now work at Prevent+Ed, and, you know, that's a tough job.
Mm-hmm.
And very rarely do they get to be like the good guy.
Yes.
So to allow them that opportunity is, I'm sure, soul nourishing.
Yes.
For them as well.
Yes, for that relationship with the foster parents
Mm-hmm.
and the kids. So we love when they do that. And Angel's Arms families come to us, and Angel's Arms is really great about sharing their resources with us too.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll call and say, we just got this huge donation of backpacks. Can you guys
Cool.
use some? And
they're great. Yeah.
so it's beautiful.
So now that you have like all this spare time to focus on strategery, have you thought about what you want the next like 3 years to look like?
Oh man, that's huge. I mean, I am a dreamer.
Oh, okay.
So I have to...
See, I am not. That's why Jenny and
Okay.
I make such a good team,
Okay.
because she's always thinking like 5 years, 10 years ahead, and I'm just like, can we just like focus on right now, please? Like,
Oh, that's how I have a lot of people in my life that
yeah.
want to say that's me. But I mean, last year we started our car seat program. So we now provide new car seats to families accepting new placements. And
Wow.
it's amazing because the family submits a request online. We order the car seat from Target, and they go to Target that's closest to their house and pick it up within an hour.
Up.
I know.
Really?
So if they get a call for a baby that needs to be picked up from the hospital, they just ask us, then they go to Target on the way to the hospital and get the seat. So that is a really great way that we're helping families to accept those new placements too. And we've got, I mean, the feedback on it has been awesome. So
Well, duh. That
Next-
sounds amazing.
next steps would be then expand that to pack and plays, you know, and make, you know, if we can't get them a crib right away, then we can still have a safe place for baby to sleep tonight, and to help open up. And plus there's a lot of kinship families, you know, that are related to the child but are not prepared at all.
Right.
And maybe don't have an extra bedroom or the space. So a pack and play is really going to be the way to have
Totally.
that child be with family. So that's on my list. And
good
then we also have some educational events that we've started. So we have recruitment nights for people who are interested in fostering. We have a space in our store. We have one of our board members is a ambassador with Children's Division for the state of Missouri.
Awesome.
She's incredible. She leads these recruitment nights, and then we get to serve these families when they get their first placement.
Right.
They
And then
get
the
to-
relationship is built with the family
Yeah.
from like day one.
It's awesome. So we've expanded that to educational events for Show Me Healthy Kids, which is the healthcare provider for kids in foster care, just to get the word out about some of the resources available to foster families. So expanding that. I mean, a bigger space would always be nice. You can never have enough space. So that we...
It sounds like you'd fill it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm
and
just kidding.
especially for those teenagers, because there's not a lot of resources for teenagers in care. And I see some of them come in and they'll look through our clothes, and we don't have a lot of space for each size. So having bigger selection for them would be awesome. I mean, my rule is if I would wear it, then it doesn't get hung. because no teenager is going to wear what I wear. But the range in
That's
styles,
amazing, actually. Yes.
the range in styles is just like for adults.
Yeah.
They need more choices, and so having more space for that would be huge, and having more space for teenagers to maybe even come in and help volunteer.
Yeah.
Build some relationships with kids that are like them and going through similar things. So,
Whoa.
there's just a few.
Just a few.
Ideas.
Just a few that you rattled off the top of your head. Right. Wow. I'm like kind of speechless because I think that you are a hidden gem for people like myself. Like I don't really have any I don't have foster children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a foster parent. I don't know anyone really, but I know parents who do foster,
Mm-hmm.
and I know kiddos who are in the foster care system. But it's like, yeah, of course this would be a needed thing. And of course, like, who doesn't like having something like brand new and like cool, especially if that's not something you're used to.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what makes it feel like home, or at least a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
When everything else is so uncomfortable.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah. And it's been great to be able to be that middleman between people in the community like you that maybe don't have a connection with foster care, but still care about these kids.
Yeah, and I can like still help and do something tangible like we talked about.
Yes. And then these families that need support, we just kind of get to be the middleman that gets to communicate what the needs are and then pass those along to the foster families.
Well, I know why Jenny always brags about you, and I know why she gives of her time to the board, because it's truly, truly remarkable, and I'm just really, really grateful for the service that you're providing.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for letting us share today.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. So again, give the website one more time.
foster-together.org.
All right. If you like what you're hearing, if you want to learn more about Laura's organization, or if you just want to learn more about some of these other hidden gems of nonprofits, please consider rating, reviewing, and subscribing to The Preventable. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us at The Preventable, brought to you ad-free by Prevent+Ed. Prevent+Ed works to reduce or prevent the harms of alcohol and other drug use through education, intervention, and advocacy. Please visit their website at prevented.org. Like what you heard? Rate, review, and subscribe to stay up to date with what we are serving on The Preventable.